What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen, to all of my returning subscribers. But if this is your first time joining me on today, go ahead, hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. So, first of all, happy Monday, right? Today is another day that it's just another opportunity to get it right, regardless as to what it might be for you. So, today I want to talk about each of the zodiac signs when angered or during conflict. So, starting with Aries, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and a lot of people are privy to the archetype. So, Aries being very impulsive and Aries being hotheads, which is very much true to a degree. Aries is governed by Mars. Mars is the planet of conflict, aggression, um, war, even. So a lot of times, Aries are built for conflict. And with Aries being a cardinal sign, what is a cardinal sign? A cardinal sign is a sign that starts and initiates new energy, new ways of being, new states of being. And you have these signs on the forefront of each major season change. And it's because they don't need no help to do what they do. They shows up, okay? So if you upset an Aries individual, they're self-starters. Honey, they're popping. They're popping off. They're going to let you know. Okay, you pinch them, they say ouch. Unless there are other factors in their chart that can kind of override that. But then also in that same breath, you do have the more evolved types of Aries people who learn to walk that fine line between aggression and assertiveness, and they're able to integrate that and just adjust their moods and their reactions and responses accordingly. Now, they'll always be direct, straightforward, and probably sometimes even aggressive, even if they are the more evolved type of Aries. But they just might not punch you in the face and be willing to go to jail for it at this point in their life. So it just depends on which one you're dealing with. Aries also is very athletic. They're a very athletically inclined sign. These people can have bodies that are, especially when you have Aries on the ascendant, can be very just muscular and have this very just svelte physique about them, both men and women. Meaning, if they're agile enough and angry enough, they just might beat your ass. And these people are dirty fighters. If conflict resolution 101 does not work and the worst happens and you end up actually physically fighting an Aries individual, they're not fighting fair, okay? And Aries is the sign of weaponry, knives, guns, you name it. Your ass might just get Shawshank fucking around with the wrong Aries individual. And that's just the long and short of it. Now, Taurus is the feminine expression of Venus. So, a lot of Taurus people tend to be superficial, and that's on the darker end. But if they're not superficial, at the very least, they care about their appearance in the world. Taurus represents the status quo, conforming. So these people are very protective of the way that they appear and the way that they look. So, given you're in a situation where you're angering or upsetting a Taurus individual, a lot of times I notice they probably might be more concerned with the way their issue with you is perceived by other people versus what the issue actually really is. These people don't care for unpleasantries. They don't care for things that are going to make them uncomfortable. They naturally don't like conflict. Also, Taurus is a very slow sign. So it might take these people a very long time to make up their minds how they feel about a situation, which does kind of make them loyal and sometimes even to a fault. And it also makes them hard headed. But once they make up their mind or come to a decision or something, then it's really hard to rein it back in. That's why Taurus people are the kings and queens of holding grudges. They'll hold grudges for years. Also, when you push a Taurus person to the point of like physical violence, or to where you feel like they're, you know, pent in or in a corner, or if you attack things that they love, because Taurus does represent values. So this could be their asset. So God forbid you do something to try to sabotage a Taurus out of a job, touching their food, even their spouse, they're super possessive, or even their values, attack their values and beliefs because they hold those at such a high standard. Then you'll see a different side of Taurus, which can be very violent. And even in romantic situations, when scorned, when upset, they will be lawsuit happy, money happy. These are the type of people who will hit you where it hurts. Okay? They even might let you beat them up if they knew that they can sue and win a lot of money. Does that sound familiar? Sound familiar, anyone? Yes, hands. But no, seriously though, in all seriousness, Brittany is actually a Taurus. So, hmm now Gemini is a masculine sign, and they're governed by Mercury, which makes them super quick witted. Okay, so these are some of the best roasters, my nigga, that you've ever seen. They will clown you. Geminis are witty. These are the kids at the school who are literally like taking out all their friends at the table. Like, I know your biscuit head, your old doodle head, but like, really just coming back with the clap backs. This is what makes, specifically in women, Gemini women, I've noticed clap back queens, honey. Even on the internet, they on it. They're on it, i.e. Azalea Banks. I mean, it's debatable whether she can actually do the clapbacks in real life, but at the very least, she can give you a nasty read on social media. Masika Kalisha is another one. Shit. Kodak Black, clapback queen. Like, it's always something with them, and they're very quick on their toes. Now, depending on how evolved the Gemini is you're dealing with, they can also even be two-faced. So let's say the issue involves you and maybe some of your other friends, and maybe you had an issue with the other friend. Some darker Geminis would actually come tell you one thing and then tell the other friend something else. And it's not necessarily that they're intentionally trying to pit two people against one another. Deep inside, there are two people in them who could very much have two different opinions. Gemini is symbolized by the twins. It's the sign of duplicity. That's why these people can come off even as hypocrites, or like they're talking out of two sides of their own mouths. So, and then lastly, you have the type of Gemini who actually, in a lot of them most of them are guilty of this, even just on a smaller level, but creating conflict just because they're bored. But primarily, they prefer to instigate. So, like, why hop in my own beef when I can just help you create something for you? And I can laugh at that shit and sit back. Gemini actually enjoys conflict so much more when it's not them. I mean, they enjoy it when it's them also. They are argumentative, and they're equipped for the battle, okay? But they do relish in gossip. Ironically enough, Masika stays in the shade room, and Azalea Banks can't get enough of other bitches' drama. I think back to when Nicki and Cardi first got into that little altercation. Azalea gets on her live stream talking about wait, the girls, why are the children fighting? Why are the children fighting? The girls are fighting. She was eating that shit up. Such a Gemini. They can be the instigator of the fight, or the person who is chopping your ass down to size. Now, Geminis still are a mutable sign, so there is the possibility that they could snap, and when they snap, you don't see it coming. very similar to Virgo and Sagittarius. And if you ask me, with Gemini, it's a little bit more intimidating because Gemini can very much rationalize everything that they do. So if the worst case scenario takes place, you about to fight a Gemini. I mean, these people can get carried away in the moment and literally fuck you up and then walk off and be like, well, yeah, they deserved it. And the darker side, Geminis have just straight up immoral instincts. So, but that's not all of them. But I can guarantee you that all Geminis are going to give you that work when it comes to verbal exchanges all day. They're very communicative, very argumentative. So, depending on which Gemini person you find yourself in conflict with, it just depends. But in all scenarios, I need you to be tread very carefully. Those mutable signs are no joke. So moving on to Cancer, and I'm probably going to stop the video with Cancer and make this a series. So I'll make a part 2 and then maybe even a part 3 to it, depending on how much I get done. So Cancer is a feminine sign ruled by the moon. They can be sneaky and secretive, okay, about the way that they go about things when they're handling a conflict or when they're disagreeing with somebody in a fight, in a feud, whatever. Now, I will say this, it's going to be so hard to get them to detach themselves from their points of view because they're connected, they're emotionally connected to just the things that they love, their feelings, their values, the things that they hold dear. And God forbid it be an issue surrounding their family, because Cancer is all about family. And, now that's when Cancers will turn just downright violent, and they'll actually turn into somebody that you probably don't even recognize. So if you beefing with a Cancer person, I guess depending on what y'all are beefing about can determine how committed they are to resolving the situation. And also because Cancers are very sensitive. Even the men, okay, and a lot of times the people who don't like to show how sensitive they are can kind of overcompensate for it in other ways. So absolutely, this could be applicable to Cancer men as well. But they're easily hurt. Their feelings are easily hurt in an argument. And in one way, it can absolutely go left because it can cause them, like, if you're fighting with your spouse, right? And the fight is getting ugly, and you know that area of the fight where the shit is about to go, it's about to go left, it's about to go straight to hell because y'all get to hitting the low blows and talking about each other's mamas or whatever that nasty thing is that you know that's going to hurt that other person. And Cancers can't take that, okay? And it'll manifest in them just honestly acting out. And it can get real out of control. They can get real out of control when they're hurt. They're very sensitive. They're easily hurt. So yeah, they can get erratic. They can get very erratic. They might even put up with things for a minute, but then when they snap about it. And it can be very irrational. Like I said, they're very much in their feelings, very emotional based. And that's, to be honest, those are some of the worst people to get into conflict with, because it's so hard for them to not put their feelings into it. And you can't rationalize your feelings. Your feelings are purely animalistic or instinctual in some cases. So yeah, that's something that you can't really put a cap on, or it's very difficult to do so. And with that being said, I'm going to reach a stopping point in my first installment of how each zodiac sign deals with conflict or how they handle anger. And let me know if I missed anything in the comment section below. Feel free to share your experiences. And as always, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until next time,